What is poppin', fam? Spanik here, and this was the video I hinted at with my teasers and my Discord links, and in my last video as well. I know in my last video I said that battle against D's was probably going to be the last video I upload before vacation. Well, I lied. I have some time today, so I figured now's the time to get this done. This is going to be a series I want to start on my channel. I not really go to different places, but you vote on different places that I count down 20 most haunted places in those areas. I've always been interested in the paranormal, life after death, and researching, reading about, watching YouTube videos on ghost sightings and haunted places in general really interests me. So for the pilot of this series, I'm going with my own area, New York City. But in the future, starting now, there'll be a straw poll in the description of just a few places I was thinking about doing next, and I want you guys to vote on them. And whatever wins will be the next place I decide to research. I had a lot of fun researching these areas, and surprisingly, I found some areas pretty close to where I actually live. In fact, the borough of New York City I live in, Staten Island, had the most entries on this list with 8. Manhattan had 7, Brooklyn had 3, the Bronx had 1, and Queens had 1. So I indeed live in the most haunted borough of New York City. Fantastic. It's fine though. The paranormal doesn't. It's fine though. Ghosts don't scare me. And it was just really interesting. Just the history of these places is really interesting as well, and the sightings people have seen is just incredible. I don't have any pictures of actual ghost sightings. I know I should have. That's probably going to be something I do for the future uploads. I just wanted to the pictures I'm going to have on the slides are just a picture of like a Google Maps of where the place is. Some of those have the Google Maps. I was able to find them. Some of them do not. I wasn't able to find them. I think one I just have a map of Staten Island. I'm just going to point out where it is. And the other picture is just a picture of the place. Just like a street view of the place. Alright, so without further ado, let's get right into it. The 20 most haunted places in New York City. This is just going to encompass the 5 boroughs, not Long Island, not New York State. I think I have both of them in the straw poll, though. So those are places I was thinking about doing next. So let's go. Top 20 most haunted places in New York City. Let's start it off with a place I have actually been to in my lifetime. Most of the ones from Staten Island I've actually been to. So let's go right into it. Number 20 is historic Richmond town. Like I said, this place I've actually been to. It's kind of a museum designed as a colonial city, located on the corner of Arthur Kill Road. It's located right here. This is the vicinity. It's in between Richmond Road and Clark Avenue. I actually pass this place on my way to school every day. So that's very creepy, knowing I passed by a haunted place. There's 2 entries on this list I passed by on my way to school. So... So yeah, good to know that. It's a museum designed to resemble a colonial city. Employees at the place report seeing strange noises, and in one of the houses, there are two boys' faces are seen many times, looking at passerby cars on Arthur Kill Road. Such is very creepy. Also, there's a cemetery nearby. I think it's behind that chapel over there in that picture, where a woman can sometimes be seen looking for her lost love, and she sometimes mistakes young men for them. So if you want ghost sex, go over here. Also, there's a restaurant nearby on Richmond Road called the Parsonage that has been reported to see some paranormal activity as well. So this place I've actually been to, it's actually a popular class trip spot for nearby public schools. Just because of the history of the area. I think the oldest building in America is at this place. It's been standing since the early 1600s. That's crazy. That it's been well over 400 years and the place is still standing. Jesus Christ. It's incredible. The architecture of back then. Alright, so next up is another Staten Island entry that is also on my way to school. Vanderbilt's tomb at Arabians Cemetery. I've never seen the tomb itself, but I do pass by the cemetery that it's in on my way to school. And the cemetery is right here, but I think the tomb is where this thing that kind of looks like a Rangers logo is. I think that's where the tomb is. But whatever. This is supposedly the tomb of Cornelius Vanderbilt, who was a well-known billionaire and philanthropist across Staten Island. He has a catering hall named after him on the island as well. I've been to that place. It's very nice over there, by the way. That place is on Caponado Boulevard in South Beach, not Miami. And here, people that have reported taking pictures of the tomb, because the tomb is a tourist attraction on Staten Island, people report strange figures appearing in or around the tomb itself. And sometimes, if you, let's say you take a picture of someone in front of the tomb, they won't develop properly. They won't develop right, and sometimes they won't even develop at all. You'll just see a picture of the tomb with no one in front of it. I think this is the tomb right here. It probably is. He was a billionaire, so obviously he wanted to visit it's my wrestling place to be in style. It was a stylish looking tomb, not gonna lie. Okay, next up is an entry not on Staten Island at all. It is St. Paul's Chapel, located in beautiful Lower Manhattan, right by the World Trade Center. This chapel was famous for This chapel's been standing since 1704, and it's been famous for not sustaining any damage during the 9/11 terrorist attacks. The chapel is where this blue marker is, and the World Trade Center is right here. So it was right in the oncoming path of the World Trade Center attacks. It was also used as a refuge for people that were running away from the smoke, just as to find a safe place to be. And also, it's so old that George Washington was reported worshiping at this chapel itself. There's a nearby cemetery by the chapel that's reportedly haunted by spirits. It has gravestones dating back to the early 1700s. So it's a very old chapel, very old cemetery, and it's been reported of paranormal activity there for ages. Ever since George Washington's time. Next up is Arlo Road. This is the third entry that I passed by. This is the third of 4 entries that I passed by on my way to school. There's a 4th one that's later on in this list. Arlo Road is actually right by my school, because Arlo Road's right here. My school is about here. My school's about here. So it's on the corner. The dorms for my school are actually located on this road. But the fact that the paranormal activity has nothing to do with my school, has nothing to do with the dorms itself. No college kid was killed in the dorms, but it does involve a death. The story goes that there was a young man and his girlfriend one night in his car. I think it was like in the 80s. He went to go relieve himself in the nearby woods and never returned. And his girlfriend found him dead, hung from a tree with his throat slit. Awesome date night. The legend goes that if a couple is seen in the car on the road, you can hear scratching on the hood and windows of your car itself. And sometimes you could see an apparition of the guy being hung in the tree. I don't know which tree he was hung from, but I've passed by this road numerous times at night, and I haven't seen shit. But then again, I'm single, I don't have a girlfriend. So when I have a girlfriend, I might take her out on this road just for shits and giggles. Alright, like I said before, and some entries are going to be longer than others. Like entries with the rich history and other paranormal and most paranormal sightings, they're going to be obviously longer in length. But others are going to be shorter. Like this one, Arlo Road's going to be shorter. There's only like a legend. No really like increased paranormal sightings, but it is reportedly haunted. Next up is Maureen Park. This is our first Brooklyn entry. And this park was the site of a brutal rape, sodomy, and murder of a little girl back in I believe it was the 60s. And residents of nearby homes report seeing apparitions of the girl and her killer, as well as they're reporting apparitions of the girl herself and her killer, as well as the smell of rotting flesh and the smell of just death itself right by the site of where the murder was held. Yeah, that's all I got on this one. Just the fact that there was a girl killed and people just see her and her killer's apparitions as well as the smell of rotting flesh. I don't know much about the murder. All I know is that there was a murder that happened here. Next up is our only Bronx entry, Fordham University, the Bronx campus of Fordham University. And you're going to be seeing this as a common theme for entries on this list and in future lists, that the place was built on an Indian burial ground. And most of these haunted places are built on Indian burial grounds. This one's, I think there's another like 5 or 6 on this list that were built on Indian burial grounds. So this one was built on Indian burial grounds, and faculty, students have reported a ton of paranormal activity on the campus. The most active site is reportedly Martyrs Court, which is where I think those are the freshman dorms. Yeah, and there are reports of a blonde girl in the bathroom who likes playing with the showers a little too much, so people have actually seen her in the shower. It's the girl's bathroom, relax. There's no peeping Toms looking at ghost nudes. And there's another report of a man walking in the halls, but most people have seen the blonde girl in the girl's bathroom. And there's also another area that's reportedly haunted. Finley Court. It used to be a morgue for the medical students, and students residing there report seeing apparitions of the dead and just a coldness in general at night. Most of the time, if you are being haunted by a ghost, you'll feel feelings of cold, dread, and the feeling of you being watched. Meanwhile, no one is there. Sometimes even yourself will be dragged. There's many paranormal sightings and experiences reported at Fordham University. There will be a link in the description. Some of these will have links in the description because there's just so much information to cover. Like, for example, this one, there's been many sightings. There's an entire website dedicated to it. There will be a link to the website in the description in case you want to learn more. Next up, we have Fort Totten, which is our only entry in Queens. It's located in Bayside, Queens. It was a fort used during the Civil War. Today it is a national park and popular tourist attraction. Building 325 is said to be the most haunted. Reports of apparitions and non-English speaking voices being heard. And this place just looks creepy. Just look at it in the picture. It looks like it's haunted. There was a paranormal investigation team from Long Island who stayed the night at the fort, and a link to their findings will be in the description as well. They have some interesting stuff there. I read the article. It was very interesting. Now, this next entry on the list this one's going to be a long entry because it is literally walking distance from my house. The old Remuda Inn. It is very close to me. It's in the Rossville section of Staten Island, which is the section of Staten Island I live in. This house was built in 1832 by the Meserot family. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It was built by the Meserot family in 1832. Mr. Meserot was killed during the Civil War, and when his wife got the bad news, she died of a broken heart in the now called Somerset Room of the inn. And today the house is used as a restaurant and catering hall for wedding reception and other parties. The Somerset Room where Madame Meserot, I can't pronounce that. I took 4 years of French in high school, and I can't pronounce that. The Somerset Room where she died is now used for these parties as well. I'm pretty sure my communion party was actually held at this place. Oh, well, maybe Meserot there attended my communion party, and I never knew. Okay, some reports seeing the spirit of Miss Meserot in the rooms, her silhouette in the windows, and feeling strange cold spots during the parties as well. There's also a chandelier in one of the rooms that will not turn off even when the electricity is cut, and even to this day, it has baffled electricians. So yeah, I could have had a ghost at my communion party, and I wouldn't have noticed, because I was like 7 years old at the time. My cousin actually works as a doorman for this place, so I should ask him if he's seen anything. I'm actually going to see him tomorrow, so I might ask him if he's seen anything paranormal here. I'll let you know in the comments section. I'll let you know in the either at the description or something, either on Sunday or when I come back from work on Monday. If you've seen anything, I'll update you when I come back from vacation. But yeah, that one's really close to me. Like, it's walking distance from my house. It's scary. Next up, another Brooklyn entry, Greenwood Cemetery. It's located in Greenwood, Brooklyn. This cemetery is actually, believe it or not, it's a really, really popular tourist attraction because of the fact that it uses medieval architecture in the cemetery itself. It's similar to Vanderbilt's tomb, where people just see mysterious figures in pictures they take of the architecture. Also, the spirit of Mabel Douglas supposedly haunts the grounds. Her body was found in the bottom of Lake Placid in upstate New York. Perfectly intact. That would be fine if she wasn't dead for 30 years. She was buried at the cemetery, and to this day, no one knows why her body was found there. So that's it on Greenwood Cemetery, really. Next up is going to be a really long entry, so bear with me here. Ground Zero. Located... This was the site of the 9/11 terrorists. This one kind of bleeds in, like... I wanted to count this as half Ground Zero and half Fresh Kills Landfill, but I did it because the story goes, the main point of the story of the haunting of Ground Zero goes into why Fresh Kills Landfill, because Fresh Kills Landfill is not haunted. This was just an incident at Fresh Kills Landfill that was a result of the terrorist attacks at Ground Zero. It was also the Ground Zero itself is haunted. The site of the 9/11 terrorist attacks in Lower Manhattan, human remains are still undiscovered on the site to this day. But they just built, like, see these pools here? This is where the towers used to stand. They just built over it. Tourists paying it's a popular tourist attraction because of the incident. People pay respects. Tourists have family that were killed in the attacks, so they pay respect to those who were their loved ones who were killed. And they report seeing apparitions of the deceased. When the attacks came, after the initial attacks were over, the smoke cleared, everything like that, the debris of the attacks was transferred to Fresh Kills Landfill on Staten Island, which is also quite close to me as well. That's not walking distance. It's a good drive. It's a drive away, but it's legit one exit on 440, and and you're at Fresh Kills Landfill. I passed it on my way home. It's another thing I passed on my way home from school. It's not the fourth one, though. I just realized that now. Because I don't pass it going to school. I pass it on my way home. So I didn't count it. Officer Sergeant Frank Mara wanted to search the debris at Fresh Kills Landfill for human remains. While searching the debris, he would occasionally see the apparition of an African-American woman in a Red Cross uniform holding a tray of sandwiches. This was seen from the date of the attacks until February 2002. So he visited a psychic who told him that the woman was a soul collector, guiding the spirits of the deceased to the dead. The spirits of the deceased to the afterlife. Mara published a book on his experiences searching the landfill, titled From Landfill to Hollowed Ground. There will be a link in the description to a New York Post article on Mara's experiences, and it was published around the time he published his book. So, yeah, there'll be a link to that New York Post article. I know it's from the New York Post, but bear with me. It's a very interesting read. I know that's ran from the New York Post, but bear with me. It's an interesting read. Yeah, but it's not really Ground Zero being haunted in Mara's story, but it's debris from Ground Zero. So next up is 169 Clinton Street. Like I said before, I know you could think Ground Zero should be higher on the list, but these are in no particular order. I just drummed up a list of 20 haunted places in New York City. Next up is 169 Clinton Street. This will be a quickie. It's located in Brooklyn Heights, Brooklyn. And it's haunted by the ghost of one of its inhabitants, H.P. Lovecraft. He despised the area of, it's in Red Hook in Brooklyn, or Brooklyn Heights. I said Brooklyn Heights. That's an error on my end. It's supposed to be Red Hook. He despised the area of Red Hook, and Lovecraft's ghost could be seen in the house itself. I think from here on out, the rest of the entries are either from Manhattan or Staten Island. Ah, yes. The next one's interesting. Sailor Snug Harbor. This is located on the very far north shore of Staten Island. This was another place I've actually been to. Because of my old job at a summer camp, the headquarters was in this vicinity. So when I had to go for my interview, not really, one of my interviews was held here for that job. It's located on the northern shore of Staten Island. This is a place in the mid to late 1800s to early 1900s. This was a place for retired sailors to go and live out the rest of their life. Today is a cultural center and museum. A sailor reported. So the stories of this place go like this. A sailor reportedly had an affair with one of the maids who bore a disabled child. She locked the child in the basement of one of the homes. One day the child escaped and murdered his mother with a pair of scissors. He was later found and hanged for his crimes. Employees and guests report seeing the mother's spirit as well as the child's in or around this home. There was a reverend that was murdered by a man named, I forgot his first name, but his last name is Ingalls. This place was featured on an episode of the Travel Channel series Ghost Adventures, and a link to the full episode will be in the description. The full episode of this can be found on YouTube. I've watched it in its entirety. I know it's Ghost Adventures. I know a lot of stuff on Ghost Adventures is fake, but, I mean, it's kind of, with Ghost Adventures, you don't know how much is fake and don't know how much is real. So a link to the full episode will be in the description below. So in the episode, they say the names of the reverend and they say the names of the guy. The guy's last name was Ingalls, but I forgot his first name. His last name was Ingalls. In front of one of the main buildings, both their spirits have been seen wandering the area. I know this is looking like more and more of just a history video and less of like an actual paranormal video. But, I mean, you can't really know who the ghosts are and why they're haunting this place unless you know the history. So that's why the history is important. There's also a theater nearby called the St. George Theater. That's another place I've been to. And during a practice of one of the plays, there was a picture taken, and in the picture there was a lady in a traditional white. It was a lady in white, but it looked like she was Asian in origin. She was once photographed. Meanwhile, the play that was being practiced, it had nothing to do with Asia. Some guests even reported seeing her during performances in the theater. I tried to get a picture of this, but I couldn't find it on Google Images. The Ghost Adventure, they do have a picture. They do have the picture that was taken in the Sailor Snug Harbor itself, and they showed it to the Ghost Adventures team. So if you watch the Ghost Adventures episode that's in the description, they do have the picture of the lady in white. So that's really it on Sailor Snug Harbor. Really 3 stories that lead to the mass hauntings going on in this place. The Ghost, like I said before, the episode of Ghost Adventures in the description does go more in detail. Next up is 14 West 10th Street. It's reportedly haunted by 22 ghosts, including that of famous writer Mark Twain. Mark Twain actually haunts another entry on this list. We'll get to it. Twain only lived there for a year, but he seems to have taken up permanent residence in this apartment in the afterlife. People also sightings of there were sightings of a lady in white, a ghostly cat, and just an overall uneasy feeling of a presence within the house. Also, nearby 16 West 10th Street is reportedly haunted as well. That's not on this list because I decided to just combine the two. I should have put 14 and 16 West 10th Streets, but both areas have the same sightings. Lady in white. There's a cat as well. I couldn't find really any backstories about the lady in white and the cat. All I can find stories on is the spirit of Mark Twain. And Twain actually haunts another entry on this list too that we'll get to. Next up is Washington Square Park. This was another entry that was built on it. It's one of the most popular tourist attractions in Manhattan today, and it was also built on an Indian burial ground. Not only was it built on an Indian burial ground, the site was a mass grave during the tuberculosis epidemic of the late 1800s and early 1900s. Some report of seeing apparitions by that giant thing over here. just everyone in the park reports seeing apparitions of things, and they say those are the deceased that are buried underneath the parks. They're buried underneath the park. Human remains are still found in the park to this day. That's scary. That is really scary. I've been to Washington Square Park before too. Yeah, I had to do a class. I did do not really a class trip. I had to do a project for one of my classes in school on a. We had to do a report. We had to do a report on area in Manhattan, and we had to actually visit the area. And we just decided to go to Lower Manhattan. So we just not really Lower Manhattan Financial District. We went to Tribeca. Washington Square Park is in Tribeca. So we were thinking about doing Harlem, but we decided against it. I didn't care. We wanted some place we could actually get to pretty relatively quickly. And there's a ferry that goes from Staten Island to Manhattan. So and Tribeca is just a little further north of the financial district. So that's the ferry leads you off in the financial district. Tribeca is just a little further north. I would have gone there or East Midtown. Those were our only two choices. I know East Midtown like the back of my hand because I interned there. So we decided on Tribeca, which was fine. We got an A on the project too. Yay! Next up is 85 West 3rd Street. And this one doesn't have a rich history behind it. It does. This used to be the home of famous author Edgar Allan Poe when he lived in New York City. And he actually wrote The Raven, one of his most famous poems, while living here. The building is now owned by New York University, or NYU, and people in the building have reportedly seen Edgar Allan Poe's ghost wandering around. So yeah, if you're wanting to meet Edgar Allan Poe, just come over here. Go to 85 West 3rd Street, because he'll be sitting around, being his ghostly self. Yes, this next one's really interesting. It's actually a place this one's interesting, and you'll see why. Next up is the Hotel Chelsea. Next up is the Hotel Chelsea. It's located in Lower Manhattan. I don't know why. It's one of these blue dots. I don't know which one it is. Probably, I think it's like this one, if I want to take a wild guess. This hotel has housed a ton of celebrities over the years, from Mark Twain to Bobby Dylan to Madonna. Today, it is reportedly haunted by a few celebrities that have died. Not died at Hotel Chelsea, but it's haunted by a ton of celebrities. Some reported seeing the ghost of Jimi Hendrix, Mark Twain. I think even John Lennon as well was reported seeing wandering the Hotel Chelsea. But the main ghosts haunting the Hotel Chelsea are the ghosts of Nancy Spungen and Sid Vicious. It is reported that the story is that Vicious was arrested for the murder of his girlfriend Nancy Spungen. But he killed himself in the hotel before he could be charged for the murder. Before his court date was set. So you might know Sid Vicious because he was part of the British rock band the Sex Pistols. So that's why he's a big famous. Him and his girlfriend's ghost have been seen many times in Hotel Chelsea by guests. I think Madonna, when she stayed there, reported having a paranormal experience as well. Not sure if it was because of Vicious and Spungen, but it was something related. So it is a very, very popular tourist attraction and hotel in New York City today. A lot because of the celebrities. A lot because of the famous celebrities you could see in the Hotel Chelsea. Also, the ghost of Marilyn Monroe was seen in the Hotel Chelsea as well. So there's a ton of celebrity ghosts you could see at the Hotel Chelsea. If you ever want to see a dead celebrity, go to Hotel Chelsea in Manhattan. Next up is, a place that I'm actually going to be near tomorrow. The Billup Conference House. This is located on the southern tip of Staten Island. It was built in the late 17th century by Christopher Billup. And this house is really, really famous in the history of America because it is the area where the first peace talks for the American Revolution took place between Lord Howe of the British and Ben Franklin, John Adams, and Edward Rutledge of the Continental Congress. And these talks took place on September 11, 1776. Obviously, the talks ended up failing, and it led to another 7 years of war. Some say when you're within the house and listen really, really closely, you could hear the talks actually going on. Another report is that Christopher Billop murdered his servant inside the house, and some reported seeing the servant's apparition as well as Billop's as well, either in the house or outside the house. Some report seeing also the ghosts of British soldiers, and Indians as well. They used to inhabit the area, and this place is also built on an Indian burial ground. Yep, this place is built on an Indian burial ground as well. In fact, I'm gonna be near this place tomorrow because I'm going to my cousin's graduation party tomorrow, and they live around here. The place is over here, and they live on like here, Finley, and they live like over here. So that's gonna be interesting. I'll let you guys know if I see anything. This is another place I've actually been to as well. I haven't seen anything suspicious. I went during the day, so maybe that's why. But I'm gonna be at night at my cousin's house, so I'll let you guys know if I see anything. I either post a comment or something like that. Next up is, I think, the last place I have passed on my way to school. Yeah, this is the last place I've passed on my way to school. Almost done, guys, so bear with me here. This is the old Seaview Hospital. I have just a map of Staten Island here. This is the one I have a map of Staten Island because I wanted to show you guys something. The Seaview Hospital is located about right here. I want to maybe a little further north, like right here. I used to go camping in woods right about here. That's creepy. I have never seen anything. I've been camping in those woods so many times. I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen anything. No apparitions, no nothing. This is reportedly a very active site on the island. The old Seaview Hospital was just a bunch of buildings it's located on Brielle Avenue in Staten Island. It was just a bunch of buildings that were used as a hospital during the tuberculosis epidemic. It was a hospital / a farm colony. Today, the farm colony portion has been turned into a nursing home, and residents of the nursing home reported seeing things move in their bedrooms, apparitions of deceased members and things like that. One of the buildings was purchased by the College of Staten Island and used as a hall for classrooms, and students have seen apparitions in that building and other things. Typical ghost stuff. Today, the other buildings are abandoned and rich with paranormal activity from deceased patients. Also, it's reported that around the abandoned buildings, satanic cults used to practice their religion there. So that could add to it. Even though there's like satanic cults around and everywhere like that, I know people that have visited that have went ghost hunting here, and they've seen satanic cults practicing their religion. It's scary shit. I actually have Snapchat videos proving it. They haven't seen anything, but they haven't seen any ghost hunting because they saw the satanic shit and got the fuck out of there. But there are nearby woods that are a popular camping and fishing destination. Like, this area is where the hospital is, and over here, like past this road, I think this over here, like past this road, that's where a popular camping spot is on Staten Island. I've been camping there. I've been fishing there as well. So yeah, that's really in the Seaview Hospital. A lot of ghostly sightings, satanic cults practicing their religion, all right by a popular camping spot. Next up is the Kreischer Mansion. This is also on Staten Island. It's located right here. I have never actually seen this place. Actually, no, I've seen this place. I've passed it before. This house was built in 1885 by a German immigrant named Balthasar Kreischer, and that is actually a badass name. Balthasar, I love that. Balthasar sounds like an awesome name. Eventually, that house was passed to his son Edward, who ended up committing suicide in the house in 1894. It is said that the ghost of Edward haunts the mansion to this day. And this house is actually for sale. Yes, it is being sold. It is being sold right now. is for sale right now for it's going for $9.5 million. I hope the realtor tells him that it's a haunted house. You actually have to do that by law. I'm actually serious. There's a law saying that if a house is haunted, you could back out. If a house is haunted and the realtor didn't tell you, you could back out of the contract. You can. You could actually take him to court for that. Crazy. But it actually is for sale. I will link the ad will be linked in the description below. It is for sale for $9.5 million. That's really it. The story is that the guy committed suicide and he haunts the mansion. And funny tidbit is that it's for sale. You want to buy a haunted house? Come to Staten Island. You have $9.5 million? Here's the house for you. It's yours. Have fun with the ghost of Edward. What the fuck's his last name? Have fun with the ghost of Edward Kreischer. Next up is the 1 If by Land, 2 If by Sea restaurant in Manhattan. It's in the Greenwich Village section. And it was a favorite restaurant of rival to Alexander Hamilton, Aaron Burr. And both his and Hamilton's spirits are seen in the restaurant to this day. And even some bartenders, they leave a seat blank for Aaron Burr. They even serve him drinks. I actually did research on this place. They actually put drinks in front of an empty chair and say that's for Aaron Burr. There's also an apparition of a woman who died off falling down the stairs. Her ghost haunts the place as well. But I think the most famous ghost that haunts this place is the ghost of Aaron Burr. Hamilton's ghost was reported being seen as well, but it's not as frequent as Burr's. Alright, so that is by it. Hit that like button so I know you survived the video. Nah, it's not. I didn't make it that scary. I could have, but I didn't. It wasn't meant to be scary. It's meant to be a fun video. Just a little change of pace from Pokemon on my channel. Let me know in the comments if you guys liked it. Also, vote in the straw poll for the next possible place I want to go to. I would want to look into this. I want to continue this series. I really do. I had fun researching everything. A lot of the stories I knew just from living in New York City. But I feel going into other places, expanding into other places around the United States and maybe eventually the world. It's nice to know it's nice to know that the history of the area and how people perceive the afterlife. Like, is there life after death? Do you just go to heaven? Do you go to hell? Do you just stay in purgatory? Or do you walk the earth as a spirit? So Spanic out. I really hope you guys like this series, and I really want to continue it. Vote in the straw poll in the description. But everything I said in the description will be in the description, so if you want to learn more, follow those links, or do your own research as well. And I will see you guys after I go back for Hawaii. This will be the last video before I come back from Hawaii. I swear it now. I just wanted to get this video out of the way. So, Spanic out. I'll see you all eventually. I will provide updates in the comments section about what my cousin said about working at the old Remuda Inn, and if I see anything around that conference house area tomorrow. I'll either update the description or post a comment. I will see you guys next time. Aloha!